financial concerns. Again, that's 772-221-1100. Hello, friends. You're listening to the Mindie Molina Show, and it's a live show, so you can call in here to the studio at 772-221-1100. Again, 772-221-1100. You can also reach me in my office, not right now, obviously, at 772-362-5872. You can find me on Facebook. You can go to my website, which is Mindie Molina, MindieMolina.com. You can find me on YouTube, my podcast, and you can just Google my name and you'll find me. So today we are going to be talking about 5.5%. That's what I'm calling today's show, the 5.5% show. So the reason is because interest rates are rising, and I'm not sure how long they are going to last. I heard the Feds raise the rates again. So let's talk about the power that comes and the opportunity that is here about this 5.5%. So when I first started in the industry of the world of fixed rate investing was in 2008, September of 2008, I became insurance licensed, and you could get a fixed annuity locked in at 10 years for 9%, and I could not give them away. So on $100,000, that's $9,000 a year you could have got, right? And I couldn't give them away because people had an idea that you could always get better. You could get better. And maybe you could have gotten better, but eventually we know what happened to the interest rate market. It came down, it came down, came down. And we haven't seen those higher interest rates for a really long time. Now, we know that 2023 is looking like a volatile year. And for me, what that means as a financial advisor is that you better have a plan. Now is the time, more than ever, to have a really solid plan of what your financial structure needs to be. So I want to talk specifically today about fixed annuities, okay, fixed rates. And, like a CD. CDs are a fixed rate. You invest a certain amount of money, you know exactly what the interest rate is going to pay, and then you collect that once a year. So I want to first talk about the reasons why a fixed annuity with a 5.5% return in retirement can be better than having money invested in the market today. This is one of my favorite quotes. I say it a lot. It's insane to risk what you have for what you don't need. That was by Warren Buffett. Let me ask you a question. How much interest do you need year over year in order to never run out of money and to live the way that you want to live in retirement? So let me ask you again. How much interest do you need to earn year over year in order to never run out of money in retirement and still be able to live the way that you want to live? So there's a reason why I'm asking you this. It is obvious, almost like a leading question. However, the answer is different for everyone. Okay, so it's not 5.5%. It is different for everyone because everyone's financial situation is different. We all earn different amounts of money. We all pay different amounts in taxes. We all have different lifestyles that require different expenses. We all have different amounts of money saved up already. We have different amounts of debt. We have different amounts of equity and assets. So everybody's answer is different. But my question to you is, do you know the answer? Do you know the answer for yourself? And if you don't, the number here is 772-221-1100. I'm not going to be able to give you the answer over the live show, but I am certainly going to encourage you to schedule an appointment. You can go to my website. You can get a consultation. We can give you the number at no charge, at no obligation. I'm offering that to you. But today we're going to talk about 5%. So why 5.5%? Why 5.5%? Well, there are two very standard generalized rules in retirement planning. One of them is called the rule of 100. Well, Mindy, what is the rule of 100? The rule of 100 is about your balance between safety and risk, taking safe investments versus risky investments. And let's just make that very black and white. One, you can lose money, one, you cannot. It's that simple. Safe or not safe. Now, with the rule of 100, the amount of money that you should have in safe investments versus risky investments is based on your age in relation to 100, because 100%. So imagine you have $100,000 and you are 30 years old. So at 30 years old, only 30% of your $100,000 should be in a safe investment. Okay. Now, if you, let's say you're 80 years old, okay, 80% of your $100,000. If you have $1 million, 80%, 800,000 of it needs to be in safe. That's the rule of 100. If you're 50 years old, guess what? 50% in safe, 50% in risk. These are general rules. They're not meant to just be taken literally, but should at least be used as a guide, okay? We offer very customized planning. And even when it comes to risk, most processes, and even part of my process through the SEC and regulation, is that you fill out a risk questionnaire, which you can access on my website. You complete this 15-question questionnaire, and now I'm supposed to know what your risk tolerance is. Or I ask you, are you moderately conservative? Are you conservative? Do you consider yourself aggressive, moderately aggressive? The truth is that should be my job to figure out how we're going to allocate your funds. And the reason is because we need to determine how much risk can you afford to take? How much risk do you need to take? How much risk should you never take? And then tell you, this is where you fall in these categories. This is how we should allocate your money so that, number one, you never run out of it, that market downturns, financial crises don't affect you. And so it goes back to that question. How much rate of return do you need in order to retire and never run out of money? And how much rate of return do you need so that you can continue living the lifestyle that you love to live? And once we figure out that number, then we know how much risk we need or do not need to take. And anything above that, let's say it's only 5%. Well, if we can get you a fixed rate of 5.5%, what does Warren Buffett say? It's insane to risk what you have for what you don't need. Now, one of the things, the blessings in this, and if you were listening prior to the show, is Jonathan was asking me about how I see things with what's going on now, and I see opportunity. I see an opportunity for us to not have to take the risk. It's not necessary now. Hopefully, it's not necessary for you. So if you can do 5.5%, maybe you only need 4%. Maybe you need 6%. Let's say you need 7%, and we can do 5.5% fixed. Guess what? We can adjust how much goes into the fixed and then minimize the portion that we have to put at risk. And now we have a structure. Now we have a plan. We have an actual strategy. We're not just winging it when it comes to investing. And we can answer these questions about our own portfolio, about our own financial household, about our own financial future. This is what I need. This is the amount of risk I have to take. This is the amount of risk I never have to take. And I'm not saying that never take risks. There's so many opportunities in the market, and I like having play money. I like for my clients to have play money. I like for them to have a plan and some play money. So if they say, okay, this is our plan, this fixed account is going to pay my income and pay my bills for the rest of my retirement. I never have to worry about running out of money in retirement, and I have $500,000 left over. And they say, we're just going to put it all on black and go to Vegas. So I don't know. They have that ability to do it because I know that everything else is shored up. Everything else is protected. Their lifestyle is protected from here on out. I like that strategy. And if there's play money left over, now is the opportunity for you to take chances in the market, to expose yourself to risk that you normally wouldn't take, knowing that if things don't work out in your favor, if that biotech company doesn't make it and cryptocurrency doesn't turn out the way you think it will, it's not going to affect your future. You're still going to be okay. So your family's going to be okay. So I like that balance. All right, I got on a tangent. That was the rule of 100. Now let's talk about the second main rule. Very general rule is the withdrawal rate of 4%. So a withdrawal rate of 4% is, what this means is it's a percentage of your retirement savings that you withdraw each year to cover your living expenses. So on average, the rule is that on average, you can expect to withdraw 4% safely out of your retirement savings and then adjust each year for inflation thereafter. But generally, 4% has been the rule for a long time. That if you're withdrawing 4%, that's what you should be able to manage. So save up enough money so that 4% is going to funnel in enough income to offset your expenses after you take into account things like Social Security or pensions, or rental income, or any other income that you have. That being said, now we're talking about 4%. And I just mentioned 5.5%. So if 4% is the rule of thumb, and we just surpassed it, and now we're at 5.5%, maybe higher after today, I don't know, then shouldn't it be time that we start scratching our head and say, maybe now is the time for us to start considering fixed investments, sure thing investments into our portfolio, into our retirement plans. And by the way, I will say you're welcome, because financial advisors, this is one of the lower commission paying products. This is one of the lower income producing investments as a financial advisor. So if you're expecting a phone call from your advisor telling you this is what you should do, probably not going to happen, because they might be moving you from something that makes them a steady paycheck off of your investment. And if you do this, you just crush that deal for them. So there's a really good chance they're not going to make that phone call to you and make the suggestion. So you're welcome. Here is more about why I think fixed annuities are a really good play right now. Because number one, it's a guaranteed return. With a fixed annuity, you're guaranteed a fixed rate of return for a specified period of time, typically 3 to 10 years. Going back to 2008, 2009, you could have locked in that 9% at 10 years. You could have also locked it in. Maybe you could have done 12% for 3 years. Whatever those numbers were, I like longevity in the plan, or at least as an option. So if you're working with me, for example, I'm going to run different scenarios. If you locked in the interest rate, if you're in the market, what's it like when the market's moving up and down? What are the projections of income that you're going to receive over 10 years? How much do you need? I'm going to calculate all of these things. But generally speaking, 3 to 10 years. And this means that you are protected against market fluctuations, and your principal, all the money that you invest is protected from any market loss. Let me say that again, because that's the whole point. Any money that you invest is not impacted by market fluctuations. It is 100% protected from any market loss. And do we believe that this is a volatile market? So no market risk is number two. The stock market can be volatile, and investing in it can be risky. When you're 40, when you're 30, even 50, you can afford more risk, just going back to the rule of 100. But as you approach retirement, and once you get into your retirement years, risky is not a word that you really want to hear unless you have tons of play money. Some of you do. Some of you have so much income coming in from pensions and Social Security and maybe old annuities that you took out years ago. You have plenty of income, so you have plenty of play money. So maybe you can take more risk. But for most Americans, they want to retire as soon as they can afford to retire. And that being the case, that doesn't leave a lot of risky room for risky investments. So having an investment that's paying the return that you need or more with no market risk is really awesome. That's something that you definitely want, or at least want to investigate and find out if it's something that fits into your realm of income versus needs and so on. So with a fixed annuity, you're not exposed to market risk, so you don't have to worry about losing your money due to market downturns. Tax deferred growth. So if it's an IRA, then it's already tax deferred growth. However, if it is not, then tax deferred growth is really awesome because you have the compounding effect of the interest that you're earning. You're not being taxed as the money grows like you are in a lot of investments. So fixed annuities offer tax deferred growth, which means that you don't have to pay taxes on the interest earned until you withdraw the money. The reason it's beneficial is that if you're in a higher tax bracket, especially during your working years, and you expect to be in a lower tax bracket when you retire, it's better for it to be tax deferred until you start actually using it for income. And you earn a lot more. You have the ability to earn more because you're not deducting taxes from the account. Guaranteed income, and I love this one. So there are two words when it comes to income that I really, really like. One, and you should too. One is guaranteed, and the other one is lifetime. I like guaranteed lifetime income. Because if you give me an income that's going to last as long as I do for my entire life, that is guaranteed, it gives me a lot of peace of mind. I can work with that. That is the foundation of what retirement is. That's why there's so much emphasis on Social Security, because suddenly you feel like you have a guaranteed lifetime income and you just can't wait to get it. So you can create your own. Unlike Social Security, it can come with a cash value, actually has an investment. And when you're earning rates like 5.5%, now you're creating a guaranteed lifetime income and possibly not touching your principal at all. That is really big opportunity. It's a huge opportunity. And it's a big opportunity for people that are facing retirement. People that are retiring this year really need to hone in on what I'm talking about and really focus on, even in the next 3 years. But if in the next 12 to 24 months,